What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Chris, 3 years running bestseller at ShineOn. Now I'm the CMO of ShineOn. I wanted to thank you so much for checking out our YouTube video. And if you like this kind of content, I want you to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I hope you enjoy the video. What's up? You're muted.
Oh, there we go. Hey!
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. Glad you could be here. This is going to be a fun one. You are like an all-time favorite here, I think. You're a favorite guest
I love
on the
coming
Coffee
on
with
here.
Michael.
This
What's
is
that?
such a great opportunity. I love being on here and talking about what's possible. Like, that's the best topic, right? Like, what's possible for us all.
All things are possible.
All things are possible.
Yeah, I dig it. And I don't know. This is my favorite time of the week, if I'm honest with you, because
Is it?
because I get to talk to really cool people like you, and also our seller community here at ShineOn. It's amazing. We're like a big family here.
Yeah, it is really cool.
We see the same names every week. People interact. I freaking love it. I want to do a panel at some point, maybe a big giant Zoom call with just everybody, like 80 people, 100 people, however many people are, and all just come on and we can just party for like an hour.
I like that. That would be really fun. Yeah, there are a lot of amazing people. I get a lot of really cool messages like all the time of just people who are trying to make their lives better and doing awesome things with their ShineOn products. It is a really great community.
Maybe we'll have a post Q4 party, like an after party.
Yes,
just
like a worldwide after party.
Zoom call. Everybody brings popcorn. We have one giant round the world toast. That would be pretty sweet.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right, everybody. So today we are going to be talking about, let me get it up. Uh-oh. There we go. Etsy best practices. Anna Beck is on with us today. Anna had a smashing Mother's Day with Etsy. She absolutely crushed it. And we found out there's just tons of demand, lots of hunger for Etsy. People want to know how to sell ShineOn products on Etsy. ShineOn is a perfect pairing with Etsy. With the products we sell, they're super high quality. They're in the gift niche. They're a great item to put out there on Etsy. Etsy allows for print on demand stuff. So it fits hand in glove here. And Anna really capitalized on that. She kind of figured it out, cracked the code, and she's been teaching everybody ever since. So Anna, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with everybody. It's pretty cool. Well, all right, so before we begin, we like to kick things off around here with a toast. Everybody ready? Drink in hand. Raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, and flasks, and join me now for the Digital Marketer's Toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs to enable ad accounts and big bank accounts, upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sells, and to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. Are you ready? Cheers. Drink up. There we go. I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Before we begin here, some basic housekeeping. Testimonials. You know how we like to do it. Every week we review testimonials that people have shared in the group. Not just testimonials, but also value posts. Any kind of post, any engagement in the group where you're adding quality, you're adding value, you're encouraging other sellers. We review all that, and we like to highlight a few of those every single week. Anybody that gets highlighted, you also get some swag. You get a t-shirt. I'm wearing a ShineOn t-shirt today. It's got a really cool kind of sugar skull on it. I'm not sure if you can see that. We have backpacks, notepads, big mugs, big giant coffee mugs. My wife absolutely loves the ShineOn coffee mug. In fact, it's almost always dirty. I can never get that thing clean. And a bunch of other stuff. So share in the group and you might be selected and get some free ShineOn swag. So last week, Carla Marie Sedom, apologize if I didn't say that right, shared she's been watching, listening, absorbing Michael, Ronnie, Suhail, Kirsten, and a few others, what a few others have had to teach us over the last few months. And she got her first sale, 1 unit sold, $35 in profit, $53 in revenue. Congratulations, Carla. Somebody from my team will be reaching out and you've got some swag coming your way. So congratulations. Thanks for sharing that. It's really encouraging, especially when you're a new seller, to see other people breaking through the wall. Next, we have Howie. So Howie absolutely crushed it around May of last year. I mean, absolutely crushed it. We were talking about him every day here at ShineOn for a while. He was just in here really blowing some things up. And the king has returned. The legend has returned. He's coming back. He's picking up his sword, dusting it off, and he's about to go to battle again. So we wanted to call this out too. We love it when our sellers come back, especially, the legends among us. So Howie, congratulations, buddy. Somebody from our team will be reaching out, sending you some swag. You probably already have some. I'd imagine you already have a sword. We'll get you something, though, buddy, that you don't have yet. And then finally, before I turn this over to Anna, there's one more thing I kind of want to tease. We have a new feature coming your way early next week. It should release, I think, Monday. New feature coming your way. It's been a requested free feature, especially among our platform sellers. It's going to help really level up your platform experience. It's going to help you bring a brand feeling to your platform. I'm trying not to give away too many of the details here. It's a surprise, but it's pretty cool. It's been requested a lot. I've been testing it all week. It's got some really neat features, and it's really going to allow you to increase the brand experience on the platform. I think you guys are going to love it. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be on Monday or Tuesday. So stay tuned. And all right, Anna, you ready to rock and roll?
I am.
All right. You got it.
Do you see my screen?
Yep. You are up.
I'm on. Okay, awesome. So I know that I've been on some coffees with Michael, but I wanted to introduce myself real quickly. My name is Anna Beck.
Can I interrupt you? Hang on. Let's get some energy going here in the chat here. Let's see some of your favorite emojis. I want to see some aliens, some chickens. I want to see some fire. Give me some applause. Let's see some emojis here in the chat. Give it just a second. There's about a 30-second delay. So Rusty here's from Las Vegas. Thanks for joining, Rusty. Beth says, hello, Michael and Anna. Told you got a lot of fans here.
Yes. Hey, I want to know where you're from, too. I love to know who's listening in from around the world. So put that in there, too. Let me know.
Facebook users from California.
Oh, hello, Facebook user from California.
Facebook user never lets me down. My biggest fan.
I did know. They just keep coming back for you.
Yeah, I know. Got some coffee and some thumbs up. All right, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Look at all that love right there.
Awesome. I love it. I love it.
Andy's from Louisiana. Somebody said from Ohio. Facebook user, Toronto. New Zealand here.
Oh, isn't that so cool? I mean, you can do this from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, we get basically every continent covered except Antarctica every week. I keep joking. Somebody's going to have to get down to Antarctica just so we can complete the circuit here. Just once.
Yeah, seriously.
Venice, Michigan, Wisconsin, Canada, Montreal, England. So we've had people from New Zealand, India. There we go.
All
we have anybody on from China? Anybody from China or anywhere else in Asia? So we have India. That's kind of Southeast Asia.
Or Thailand.
Texas isn't. Yeah, Thailand would be nice.
I mean, some people say Texas is a foreign land. Just kidding them.
Yeah, that's true. And you are from Germany. Let's not forget that.
I live in Germany. I'm not from Germany. This is actually a question I get asked by a lot from European sellers. Is they message me and they say, "Hey, are you in Europe?" And I say yes, but I don't have the same. They're usually messaging me about taxes and stuff, but I'm American, so.
I just misspoke. I know you're not German. But
yes, I do live in Germany, so I am far away too.
Here we go. Dubai, Israel, Kenya. That's awesome.
Yes.
Look at that. Everybody, world circuit here. Love it. Lindy's got some UFOs flying around. I like my UFOs.
She's from outer space. That's cool.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
There we go. All right. Oh, here we go. Facebook user. We have a volunteer.
Okay.
Facebook user wants to go to Antarctica for the coffee with Michael.
Okay.
You are a brave soul, whoever you are, Facebook user.
Yeah. He's going to do well.
We salute you. Godspeed. You're probably going to have to take pocket Wi-Fi or something. I'm not sure what the setup is there. Get some satellite Wi-Fi going on, but let's do it. Let's make it happen. All right. Let's round this up. Pakistan. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. So Anna Beck is here. We're going to be cracking open Etsy. Anna, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, you're fine.
I'll turn it back over to you now. Take her away.
Okay. Sounds good. So I just wanted to quickly introduce myself for people that haven't seen me on previous Coffees with Michael or just in the groups or whatever. My name is Anna Beck, and I am a 6-figure Etsy store owner. I actually have a few stores, and but one of them is my 6 figures. My other one has done very well as well. I'm also a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids, and I love eating avocado toast in the morning. And I want to change your life today. I mean, not just about Etsy, but also avocado toast, because if you put bagel seasoning, are you an avocado toast man, Michael? I need to know that.
I'm almost a carnivore, if I'm quite honest with you.
Really?
I'm that close to being just a pure meat eater.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want your life change, eat some avocado toast and put bagel seasoning on. It's fantastic.
It sounds interesting, except for the plant part of it. Okay. The rest of it sounds pretty awesome.
It is. It's super awesome. So if you ever decide to come back a little bit to the vegetable eating part, then give it a try.
So are you a millennial? Because
I think I'm not considered a millennial. I think I just barely missed it.
So I'm a millennial. So I get the whole avocado toast meme thrown at me all the time. Every chance I get, people find out I'm a millennial. It's nonstop thrashing.
That's the number one. Yeah, so it's kind of funny because my husband used to make fun of people doing that. And then my mom gave that to me for breakfast one time when I was visiting her. And I was like, all right, I'm converting. I'm a big fan. But it was the bagel seasoning that changed everything for me. So I hope somebody out there tries it and their life has changed too. Can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear you. All right. Okay. Well, he's working on that. I'm going to keep going. So I love to think and dream all things marketing ShineOn products, so I can spread more love to people. I fell in love with ShineOn products because they put good into the world, and it's gifts that bring people close together. So these are actually more than just a necklace or a piece of jewelry. These are products that people are trying to give to others to bring them closer, to show their appreciation and love. And so, that's not something for everybody, but for me, that was really meaningful and something that I wanted to be a part of.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sweet. Got her fixed.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about Etsy. I think we've done this for a couple months now, Michael?
Yeah, it's had a ton of attention too. We're seeing the number of Etsy listings now with ShineOn products it's skyrocketing. It's incredible.
Oh yeah. I see new stuff every day. So when I first started, I was surprised how few, there were a handful that I saw, but now there's a ton, which is awesome. This is so great. So you might be thinking, hey, we've already been doing this. Maybe you've even opened an account. Maybe you've even gotten sales, and you're like, why should I be on here this hour? So I want you to just stick around and answer some of the questions that I have, and you can decide if you're in the right place. And I do want you to stick around because we're going to have fun, and we're going to go over some strategy here that I hope will help you in your journey. So let's see here. Okay, does this sound like you? Do you suffer from shiny object syndrome? So you're bouncing from one idea to the next. You're trying to figure out this Etsy thing, and you end up with more confusion and results. There are more confusion and no results. I think a lot of Etsy sellers, I see a lot of questions where they're like, they just, they listen to something here, they listen to something there. They're trying to put it in place, and they, the next thing that they hear that's exciting, and there's just no results. So if you feel that way, you're in the right place, because we are going to help give you some clarity and direction on what you need to be doing so that you can be laser focused and have strategies in place that are going to get you results. Okay, if you are exhausted trying everything that should bring you wins, but nothing sticks for you. So raise your hand if you have a list of ideas or tips that you've gotten off of YouTube or blogs or whatever, and you feel like you should be doing them, and you go to implement them and nothing is playing off. You feel like paying off. You feel like you're playing Battleship and, you're just kind of like guessing where the win is and nothing ever comes together. So again, if you're looking for clarity and flow in your business, if you're looking for the consistency, the regular activities that you need to be doing, then again, stick around and we are going to get those questions answered. And the last thing that I hear a lot about is if the market is flooded and is there space for more Etsy sellers, right? Michael, you just said, wow, listings have skyrocketed. And I see that even in my own group and messages being like, oh, jewelry is just oversaturated on Etsy. There's just no space for you. So if you feel that way, let me just break that belief down real quick. This couldn't be further from the truth. In 2020, Etsy had over 81 million buyers on their platform. So that's a ton of people. And I don't know if you guys remember one of the slides I had before, but you don't have to sell that many necklaces to have a 6-figure profit. So that's pretty amazing. So you definitely want to be here if you want to get in the space with ShineOn and Etsy to be making that profit.
I want to jump in on there real quickly. So something that people don't think about is Facebook has been so dominant in the paid acquisition space for e-commerce for so long that when people get into e-commerce and they're thinking about how to make money online, Facebook is always top of mind. And I don't think that that's necessarily a problem, because if you get a product that's a winner and you're going to scale it, Facebook is the only place I know where you can dump tons and tons of money and just truly scale something to the absolute moon. I mean, it's almost like there's no ceiling. However, one thing you have to think about when I think about Facebook compared to Etsy, compared to Amazon, is this. Nobody on Facebook is sitting around going, hey, I'm going to scan Facebook today to wait for an ad to tell me what to buy. Right? Nobody on Facebook is doing that. They're not in shopping mode. When October 1st, October 15th, November 1st rolls around and people start thinking about Christmas, one of the first places they go to solve their problem of not having Christmas gifts or whatever is to a known platform. They go to Amazon, they go to Etsy, they go to places like this, and they start searching around for gifts for their loved ones. And that's where they're going to go first. And these platforms are mammoths. They're mammoths. They're absolutely huge, especially in Q4. I mean, so many people are going to be going to these platforms looking for gifts. You cannot saturate a platform like this. I know it feels that way, but I'm telling you that your thinking is too small if you're thinking about saturation, because the market is bigger than any of us could possibly imagine. And this is coming from a Facebook guy where people are only buying when we catch them on an impulse purchase. These are people that are not even in shopping mode. They're not even trying to shop, right? And I'm still getting sales. Think of all the people that are trying to shop. And then they go to one of these platforms and start searching. It's unbelievable. There's going to be an absolute tsunami of buyers flooding to these platforms come Q4. There is no way they can possibly be saturated.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I will tell you too, that this year is going to be the biggest yet, because we're still in the pandemic and people have started to shift their buying habits to these platforms. And so it's just going to keep getting better.
There was a third-party consulting company called McKinsey that did a big survey of buyers, customers, in the midst of the pandemic in 2020. And something like 65 or 70% of them tried new brands, new marketplaces, and things like that during the pandemic, and said they would continue to shop there going forward. They said that e-commerce saw a 10 years worth of growth in 3 months, right, due to the pandemic. And something like 60% of them are probably going to stick in this e-commerce shopping mode. So I think you're dead on with that. There's no way to saturate it.
Absolutely. And in fact, Etsy, and I would assume this is going to be the same for Amazon, because a lot of their habits are the same in terms of strategy and timing, is that they're saying you should be planning your listings 120 days in advance, because people are going to start shopping early this year, because USPS is kind of a mess right now. And so people are going to want to start shopping early. And I'm already starting to see that actually in one of my stores. I'm getting earlier sales and more sales than I ever have before. So Yeah, this is a really, really exciting opportunity. And you're right about this is the place where people come to give you your money. They are looking for specific things. And if you're there to meet them and meet their need, then you're going to get sales. So that's really cool.
So I'm going to drop one more thing here, and then I'm going to
Okay.
shut up so you can continue.
Okay.
When it comes to getting out in front of the wave, this is third quarter. This isn't there are no holidays. There is no reason at all to be distracted right now. The number one thing anybody listening to this should be doing is prepping for Q4. You have no idea the opportunity that is about to come our way. There are millionaires made literally every single Q4. And when it comes to Etsy, getting started now makes a ton of sense because you're going to get those listings out there. You're going to figure out what works. You're going to build your store up. You're going to be able to collect some reviews. Your listings are going to be able to gain some SEO kind of authority. You're going to figure out what works now so that when Q4 comes, you're in position to take advantage of all the opportunity. Now is the time you need to be taking massive action. Anything you do now will have 10 times the results in Q4. It's a time of massive leverage. You need to be taking advantage of it.
You do. And, if you feel like it's quiet right now, a lot of people will be nervous because they're not getting the sales or whatever. Don't worry about it. If even you may get to fourth quarter and make all of your profits for an entire year. Some people's entire paycheck you will make in 6 weeks. So really keep moving forward because it truly is a crazy time and a huge opportunity just during those few couple months. Are you still there, Michael?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, all right, awesome. Then I'm going to keep going. Okay, sorry, I can't see you in my screen, so it's hard to know. All right, so what we're going to learn today is we're going to learn about why bouncing around and copycatting other sellers is actually holding you back. So this is a really common thing that I see where, you go and you see a bestseller and you just go and make a copycat. That's not an effective strategy. That's actually not a strategy at all. That's just copying. And that's not going to get you anywhere. And I'm also going to teach you how to find who to market to and attract your perfect buyer. So we want to actually be actively seeking for the right person. We don't want to go after somebody else's right person. And I also am going to tell you the number one mistake ShineOn Etsy sellers make that costs them from beating out the competition, right? So we really want to have a plan in place. And I'm going to tell you my pod story here. So when I first started, I didn't know where to start, and I was constantly chasing after other people's ideas. So just exactly what I'm kind of seeing now. But who really wants to be second place? Let me tell you, when you are just kind of piggybacking off of other people's ideas, it's really hard to ever get leverage on that or to ever beat them or be number one because they've already grown into the algorithm. The algorithm already knows that people like their products. So it's just not a good strategy. You want to be number one and you want to be able to find your own customers and keep them. I also felt super overwhelmed trying to figure out who do I create my products for. And I used hopeful marketing. And what that means is you kind of throw something out there and then cross your fingers and hope that something sticks. Okay. And then I also thought that success was for long-time sellers because they had some secret sauce. And I even see that a lot among sellers. They go, she's been doing this for a long time. So she, that's the success is for her. It takes years. I'm telling you that is not true. It took me a while because I had these kind of problems. I didn't have a strategy. I was just kind of bouncing back and forth and trying to follow other people's ideas and just super overwhelmed. So it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So I knew that if I kept going, then I would just keep getting the same results. And that's not a good place to be in and not a good feeling to have when you're trying so hard. So when did everything change for me? Well, it was when I started having a system in place. Okay, because then I actually had actionable steps and I could test to see if they were getting me progress or if they weren't. And then I could stop doing the things that weren't working and start doing the things more of what was working. And that was super exciting. And when I started putting this system into place, that's when this happened, which was crazy. It was so crazy. I actually had a goal to make $20,000 in profit on Mother's Day. And I far exceeded that. It was so wild. And so I was so grateful that I really zoned in on good practices and started to be authentic to myself and my brand. And that just changed everything for me. So the problem is most sellers don't have a strategy. They're making designs based on oversaturated niches, and they're, again, listing with those established products that have a history. They don't know who their customer is, so you're not getting an emotional reaction that converts, right? If you don't know who you're selling to, you're not going to connect to them. And a lot of sellers don't know what to do when they actually start getting sales. They're just like, oh, great, I'm getting sales. But there's so much more to that. Like, you can optimize so much with your listings. There's so much. We're not even going to cover all today, but we're going to touch on some of those strategies so that you can have some action if you are getting sales already. So what is your solution if you're in this position? You need to have a strategy that creates consistency and flow and your customers coming back for more. Some of the benefits of having a system in place is you go from full-time confusion to full-time reach. So what do I mean? It means that your listings are reaching out to people. They're actually connecting and pulling in buyers. And when you have a system in place, you know exactly who your perfect customer is. So it's easy when your products are placed in front of them and your perfect customer says yes to them. And that's a super exciting feeling. And you also will have the benefit of never having to ask, what am I going to do now? Because you have a purpose. You know what actionable steps you need to take to be able to attract your perfect person. So, Michael, are you ready to look at my flow?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So I call it a flow because I felt like before when I was jumping all around, I just kept like hitting these like blocks. And I don't know, Michael, have you ever felt that way when you just weren't getting results? You just kind of like, and you didn't know what you were doing. You just kind of like hit like walls and wall and wall. And
Oh yeah, and it's usually just one little insight or one little thing that's kind of holding you back or keeping you in that place. That's been my experience anyway.
Yeah, it is. And so when you have your system in place, when you actually have a strategy, it changes everything because it creates like a flow. I mean, you can move with it and there's peace in that. And it gives you confidence to keep going forward. So in phase one, we're going to just set up our foundation. These are things we've already talked about. It's just getting your store completely set up and get your other foundational accounts set up. If you haven't gotten my PDF yet, it shows you how to set up your accounts, how to set up Set Commerce if you want to go that way. And I think we're planning on linking that, right, Michael?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to link it. Yep. So right. I want to jump in too real quick. So like the importance of having systems and processes around your work is it can't be overstated, honestly, because this is, you have to put in the work before you're going to see the results, right? And there is some period here called the grind, right? Where you're just getting up every day, you're putting your butt in the chair, you're doing your time at the keyboard, and you're putting out your listings, or you're making your products, or you're launching your Facebook ads and doing your tests. And you do this day in and day out and day in and day out, and you're iterating every single day, and you're not seeing results yet. But if you keep that up for long enough, eventually you win. Right? Yep. That's called the grind, though. Sometimes you have to do a whole lot of grind before you see a giant result, right? But it's very important. You need the system, you need the process to guide you back to that chair, to tell you exactly what you need to be doing every single day if you want to get there.
Yes, that's the key is what exactly you need to be doing every single day, or else you're just going to forget things, right? And it's like, you just will never know where you're actually going if you don't sit yourself down and know exactly what you're doing.
Totally. So I'm curious to see this. What do you do here?
Okay. So
I'm a Facebook guy. I'm not an Etsy guy. So
I know. And I don't know if I told you this, but I'm actually learning Facebook and Facebook ads right now. And it's totally foreign to me. Like, it's such a different, there's a lot of principles that are the same, but really different at the same time. So I can see where you're curious too.
So I'm glad you actually brought this up. So I want to say real quickly that like Etsy and Facebook, it's not an either or proposition. No. It can be a both and, right? right? One of the things that we want to start doing is every single time we launch a Facebook test, we also want to be creating an Etsy listing, right? Just every time we'll just do them in tandem. And often what I've found in my experience is what works well on a search platform, say Amazon, Google Shopping, Etsy, is typically different than what's going to work well on a desire-based impulse buy platform like Facebook. They're typically two different things. But if you're doing both at the same time, it's like you're spreading your net further, right? You're being in more places. You're opening yourself up to more opportunity, right? So I don't think of it as an either or. Like I'm either going to do Etsy or I'm going to do Facebook. I think of it like both in. Like I'm just going to do both. Now, if you're brand new, and I'm about to shut up here, Anna. If you're brand new, right? You've never done anything, just pick one and master it. I'm sure Anna would agree with me on that. Pick one and just master it. It can be Etsy, it can be Facebook, it can be whatever. Pick one and master it. But after you have it mastered, don't be afraid to go in and start expanding your universe a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. And we're actually going to talk about that at the very end of these slides. But I will touch on the start with one platform. And the reason why is because each platform has their own unique nuances and way of going about it. And so if you're trying to learn all of that at once, you're you're going to be doing things halfway in lots of different places, and it's too much. So I totally agree with you, Michael. Start with one platform. And once you have your flow and your system down on that platform, then it's a lot easier to add new additional tasks because you still know what you're supposed to do every day. And that becomes familiar. Your learning curve has, kind of plateaued out. And so then you can add more, you can learn new things and you can start being effective at that. And, there is a lot of overlap in research and strategies with all the platforms. And so when you do get when you do get good at one platform, you do tend to be able to jump in a lot faster with another platform. But I find that people who are trying to do multiple platforms at one time get very overwhelmed and very confused and then give up. So we don't want that for you. So definitely, if you do Facebook ads, it's wonderful. Do it. If you want to do Etsy, then dive in and just do it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Okay. So this is where I start. I actually want to start looking for places that I could park my designs and actually have a chance of being seen. So some people, and I think this is more of a Facebook thing where you're looking, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Michael, where you look for things that are already selling and doing well, and then you're testing that on Facebook. Is that?
Yeah, you're trying to spot trends. You're trying to spot things that are going to move people emotionally and then ride the wave, right? It's surfing, right?
Right.
It's surfing. Okay. You're trying to spot trends, things like that, and you're trying to hop on them and then surf them into the beach.
Sure. Okay. So with Etsy, it is very similar, but we want to look for, I want to find data that supports a niche or a keyword that is bringing in traffic, but has low competition. Okay. I want to confirm that before I go out of my way to make a design and try to optimize that listing. I don't want to waste my time sending listings into Etsy Graveyard. So my research is very, very important to me. And that's where the first step is. And I'll oftentimes spend hours on research before I ever jump into a design. So I start with eRank. I love eRank. Have you heard of eRank before, Michael?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Then you know how awesome it is. It is such a cool tool. I mean, you can just, I mean, most of my Etsy business is based around eRank because there's just so much there. And I want to touch on some of the features here of eRank. So I hope you guys can see this.
Here, I'm going to change the layout here to kind of blow that up a little bit more for everybody. Okay. That should help a little bit.
Okay.
And by the way, everybody, I'm going to make these slides available for download after the call. So everybody will be able to do that after the call. I'll have the link in there. So if you can't see this now, don't panic. Just follow along as best you can.
Thank you. Okay. So your first strategy is you want to pick a theme that has a lot of views and searches already. So we could talk about let's say weddings. Weddings is a huge season. There's lots of searches under the wedding niche. And so you want to find a couple keywords that could bring in a lot of traffic. But below that, you want to find smaller keywords that you could build a listing around that has low competition. And the reason why is because if you were to only try to enter in to a listing or a niche that has all just insane competition, your listing's going straight to the Etsy graveyard. Okay, there's just no chance. So by mixing up your tags and your title with a mix of high ranking keywords and low competition keywords, you're going to have your best shot at actually being seen with your listings.
So what you're saying here is, so Etsy is a SEO play, right? So like SEO, for anybody that doesn't know, stands for search engine optimization, right? Because Etsy's basically a big search engine. People are going to go there. They're going to type in keywords. Based on the keywords, Etsy's going to show them a bunch of listings. And you're saying that people need to be smart about what search terms they put in their title. And then what do you say, the tags? And was there anything else?
Those are the most important things that we're going to focus on right now.
The title and the tags. And so you're saying do a mixture of keywords that have lots of search volume and high competition with a mixture of keywords that have high search volume and low competition, like kind of create a blend, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, and then put those in the title and the tags. Now, do you duplicate do you duplicate like some of what's in the title and the tags? Like, can they be in both places, or how do you do that?
Yeah. You can definitely duplicate. Especially your strongest keywords. You can put both in your tag and your titles.
And how do you know which ones are your strongest?
Okay, so that's part of eRank in our research here.
Oh, okay. I'll shut up and jump ahead again.
Hey, these are good questions. And I know a lot of people have these exact questions. So that's why we're doing this interview, right? So how you know is you can use Keyword Explorer to look for trends and keywords. So if you're in eRank, you can see here on my screen, you can either type in your idea. So say you're starting with weddings, because that's a popular season right now. You just type that into keywords, or you can click on Keyword Explorer, and that will pull up this information here. So on the right picture here, I don't know if it's on your right side, but where there's the green and the red, that's where you start to dive into keywords and the competition and the search volume. And you can just dig into this information to start revealing those trends and those low competition keywords.
So you're saying go to Keyword Explorer inside of eRank, and then you just put in a search term, and the kind of the results over there on the right are kind of all rolled up into the page of Keyword Explorer. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll give you lots of different ideas around that niche that you're starting to explore.
Oh, so it just takes your keyword and then it gives you a bunch of ideas related to the keyword?
Yes. You're kidding it.
Okay.
So here you can see I know these words are small, but I put sympathy gift. And then you can see here that there's a ton of sympathy related keywords that people might search around.
Okay, gotcha. It's a little too hard to read.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm tracking with you. I get the overall idea.
Okay, yeah. So when you're in there, you will see what I'm talking about. So yeah, so there's just going to be a bunch of different keywords around that niche. And what you're going to want to look for are keywords that you could develop your phrase around and your product around. So for example, I believe that there's like the top keyword here is sympathy gift. So you could use that keyword because our product matches a sympathy gift, right? But if it says like sympathy gift basket, that would not be a good keyword to be using because we're not a basket. We cannot develop I guess you could, but if you're selling ShineOn products, you cannot sell a gift basket. So that would be a bad use of a keyword.
So basically just make sure that the keywords are relevant, right?
Yeah, you want them to be as relevant as possible because you want to match what that buyer is thinking.
Got it. So yeah, like gift basket, care package,
Yeah.
gift box. None of those would probably be good.
Yeah. And if sometimes you might be surprised actually what pulls up. So if you are going through these lists and you're like, okay, would gift box match or care package match? Just search it in Etsy and see what pulls up. And if you see similar products, then use that keyword, right? Because that means that people are connecting to that keyword in the way that your product could match that keyword. So,
got it. So if you're on the fence, just jump over to Etsy real quick, throw it in the search and see if other jewelry kind of items are in there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Jewelry, yeah. If you feel like it can match, if it's complementary to the products on that search, then yeah, go ahead and use it. But if you were to type in gift box and there's literally a box that somebody could put a gift into, then that's not going to be a good match because that person's looking for an empty box, not a necklace, right?
Got it. Okay.
Yep. So you want to be looking for keywords that are most relevant to a product that you could make, right? So remember, we're just looking for ideas. I don't like to find like a product that somebody else is already selling and trying to like replicate that exactly. I want to find a product that I can bring to market and be first at.
Okay, so are we still kind of in product research mode here?
Yep. Just product research.
Okay. So you're like looking for a good niche to go into here. So got it. So you're throwing search terms in here, and now you're trying to find some keywords that have lots of volume and low competition.
Yep.
And now you're going to go surf those pages for ideas, basically.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
On it. You totally got it. Okay. So the next cool feature in eRank that I want to show you is the keyword tool. And so what this does is you can go in here and you can type in your keyword that you're using, like sympathy gift. So the first page that I had on there, I also use sympathy gift. I was curious to know different ways people might be searching for a sympathy gift, right? Because when we're thinking of keywords, you don't want to just describe your product in one way, right? There could be lots of different keywords that people are going to use, and your product will still match that keyword. So we're looking to bring in as many keywords as possible because we want to extend our reach with a variety of keywords. So in the keyword tool here on eRank, it's really cool because it will show you more keywords that you can use around sympathy gift. And it's really hard to see this screen here, but it will give you more ideas. And so if you think about sympathy gift, you could have like a cancer encouragement gift or a get better soon gift, right? That could all be in the same realm of a card that we could create that would match for all of those keywords.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Okay. So as you're looking through these keywords, the keyword tool gives you just a variety or synonyms that people search for, and they use your original keyword that you search for, and then you can find other ideas from that with your keyword tool.
So you start with keyword explorer.
Yep.
Then you move to keyword tool.
Yep. Keyword explorer will focus more just on that one specific keyword.
Okay, and that's where you're kind of getting ideas.
That's where you're getting ideas.
I take it you're almost taking all those ideas, putting them in a list, and then you're dropping them into keyword tool to do more research.
Yep, exactly. So keyword tool is going to allow you to expand your reach of keywords to connect with more potential buyers, but that are around in that same kind of general niche. Okay. And then down below here in this right-hand corner where you see these listings, this will show you tags that other sellers use in this category. And so that can give you ideas of what's actually selling and the tags that people use to bring in those customers.
And that's on the keyword tool page as well?
And that's also on the keyword tool page. Yep, this is all one page, but I had to take these screenshots.
Yeah, no, I get it. So then it actually shows you listings and it shows you the tags they used.
Yeah, it shows you the tags.
Okay, got it.
So this will give you an idea of how other sellers who are actually selling a product is bringing in customers. And then you can also look at the products here and see, okay, what kind of products are people buying in this niche with these keywords? And then that can give you an idea if you want to enter into that category.
Got it.
Yeah. So super, super useful, right? Like you're not just throwing things in the dark. There's actually data that you can find to really help boost your chances. It's not a perfect science, right? But it gives you an idea of what is possible and if there is an actual opportunity that can open.
Yeah, no, totally. I dig it. It seems like it reminds me a lot of Google Keyword Planner and fishing around in there for search terms. I mean, it seems very similar, except it's for Etsy.
Yes, it is very, very similar. It's just, it's just a keyword research tool. And there is so much to eRank. I mean, we're just touching the surface here, but these are the most valuable tools that you're going to be using. So I wanted to show that to everyone so everybody knew or could see, where to start. So the last thing I wanted to show you here is where you can find trends and what's hot on Etsy. So if you're trying to just start with ideas, you're like, I don't know what to start with. Well, under trends, you can do a daily trend report or you could do a monthly trend report. So if you want to do daily, you can look and see, okay, what are some ideas of what people are buying today? And you can go through that list and then you just start that process of kind of digging through finding low competition keywords. And you can also use the trend report to find niches that were selling well in the past. So say for like fourth quarters coming up, you want to see what sold last year, what was hot last year. You can use this tool here and it will show you the trends that happened during the holiday season. And so you can capitalize on that and say, okay, I want to go into this same niche because I think it will perform well. And you can look for keywords there and design around there. And this is a great time to do it because, like I said, we need 120 days for our listings to mature. So that's a great tool that you can use to start predicting for future sales.
So you're looking for, are you looking for low competition here? Yep. Or are you just still kind of looking for ideas and you're going to figure out competition in another step in using Keyword Explorer, I think it was.
Yes. Yeah. So the trends here is just a place to get to a starting place, right?
Got it. Okay.
To start generating those ideas. And then you would go back to your keyword tool and to your Keyword Explorer, and then you would start the research of looking for those low competition keywords.
Got it. Okay. So for example, one kind of flow here might be come to the trends tool here, try to find some ideas, take the idea, go to the Keyword Explorer, drop the term in Keyword Explorer, get some more ideas, right? And you're making your list. You're looking at the high volume, high competition, high volume, low competition. You're just trying to make a list, right? Then you take your list and you go to the keyword tool, and you start dropping your list into the keyword tool, and you're making sure that the keyword is relevant to what you're selling. So you're going to check the listings to make sure that, it's actually jewelry products, for example, in the listings. And then you're also going to be looking at the titles and the tags for everything that's kind of ranking on page 1 to see what you have to do to rank there as well. Is that kind of the idea?
You're a pro already. I think you should get Facebook ads and just convert to Etsy.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Well, it's sticking. I got it.
Yeah.
We'll get started on Etsy.
All right. I love it. Okay. So once we've done all this keyword research, we go through that process that you just talked about, Michael, which you did fabulously. Good job. You want to start developing your message for your perfect customer. So what is a perfect customer? I use this term a lot. And you want to know who this person is. You want to know this phrase because this is the number one skill that will, in my opinion, is what will connect you to your customer and get the conversion. So a perfect customer is someone who says yes to your product because you have met their exact desires. So who is, like, how do you know who your perfect customer is? You really need to start to dive into that through research and ask certain questions about this person. So I like to ask, first of all, usually, you know, what's the relationship? What's the buyer's relationship to the recipient? What is their age? What colors do they like? What are their interests? What kind of phrases and terms and vocabulary do they use? What are their expectations for this gift? Like, what are their hopes and their goals and their dreams? What are they hoping for their reaction? What reaction are they hoping for from the recipient? And, you know, what goal are they trying to reach with this product and the words that we're using? So when you can answer all of these questions, that's when you are going to start developing really high quality message cards, because you're going to stick out on these low competition keywords. The customer is going to read these words and be like, oh my gosh, it's like they just know me exactly. Like they just know me perfectly. And they're going to want to buy because you have researched them. You've become almost their friend. You know everything about them and you speak their language. And so that's how you find your perfect customer. And that's how you should develop your message cards as well.
I dig it. So basically you do all that research and then you start asking yourself about who would be searching for this product, right? How do I, so basically what you're doing up to this point is it's almost like you're validating demand, right? Through your product research. Yeah, exactly. And now you're trying to say, who's behind the keyboard, right?
Yes.
Typing in these search terms. And now how do I create a product that they're going to want, right? I should say that differently. Because the want is already there, the need is already there, the demand is already there. You're saying, how do I create a product they already want to buy?
Yes, exactly. So I want you to imagine, I am a mother of 3, right? I believe that you might have children too, but we're lots of parents here. But imagine that I tell my daughter that it's her birthday. I want to take her to the toy store. And we are going to find a very specific Lego set that she's been looking for because she loves Legos and I'm excited. I'm her mom and I want to love on her. It's her birthday. I'm so excited. So that's my sentiment, right? Is that I want to celebrate her and I'm excited for her. She's little, right? So we need to remember the recipient's age. We need to know both the buyer and the recipient's ages because that will change how our message might be and the words we use. And so imagine that we're going to the toy store and what is the expectation if I stood right in front of the door? Okay. What would be the expectation, Michael, if we went to a toy store?
You tell me.
Well, it would be that we're going to walk into a toy store for my daughter, right? This store is exactly for her. And when we walk in, she's going to find Legos because that's the number one kid toy. And she's going to be so excited. And then I'm going to be so excited because it was just perfect for her. It's exactly what we were looking for. So the reason why I tell you that story is because that store is perfectly designed for a child. Everything about it, the colors, the products that they offer, the way they write things out, it's all geared for children. And me as a mother knows that. And that's,
I got it.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
It matches the perfect people, right? And we want that big moment for our customers as well. We want them to read that and be like, oh, this is so perfect for my mom, or this is so perfect for my daughter. Oh my gosh, this is going to make them so happy, or this totally speaks to my heart.
Creating like a magical moment.
Yeah, creating that magical moment that just is perfect for the buyer and the recipient. And so that's one thing that is so fun about ShineOn products is that we get to use our words and come up with words that speaks people's hearts or to people's hearts. We get to give people the gift of love through words. And so when you know your perfect customer, then you will get that reaction and they will just love your products and of course want to buy and come back for more and buy more. And it's great. It's so awesome. I love it. I just could talk about this forever.
No, here's the thing so this is also, it's kind of starting to click for me in a pretty big way.
Okay.
So first of all, the product I say, it's very similar on Facebook too.
Yeah.
You cannot build a successful campaign if you don't have an amazing product. You can't do it, right? And we're using different terminology here. We're saying the same thing. An amazing product is one that creates a magical moment, right? It's one that's going to move people emotionally. I mean, we just use the different language to kind of describe it. You're basically saying the same thing. You're doing the same thing. You're just kind of starting at a different point. When I'm on Facebook, I'm trying to create the product that's going to make this magical moment, and then I'm sticking it out there in front of the audience that I think is going to buy. What you're doing with Etsy is you're going and you're finding where the demand is. You're validating the demand, the market need, because you have more insight into it. You can see it a little bit better with some of these research tools. Then you're creating the product that you think is going to make a magical moment for those individuals.
Yes, absolutely. But you need to know what is going to create the magical moment. And so that's why I say, know your perfect person, right? Because if you don't speak their language or what their intent is, then you really can't create that perfect moment.
Right. Know your audience, know your niche, right? Figure out what makes them tick, that kind of thing.
Yes,
Got it.
exactly. Yep. All right. So after I do my listing, after I create my message card, right? I know my perfect person. I write this just tear-jerking card, emotional card. Then I'm going to just upload it onto ShineOn, the ShineOn app in the Shopify store or in Shopify. And then I get that transferred over to Etsy. And then I use Get Vella to add any other keywords or any other relevant information. So if you haven't used Get Vella, this is an integration that's found in Etsy and it's free. And it is super awesome because you can do bulk updates on your product listings. And it just makes things go super smoothly, super fast. And, everybody should be using it because it's free and it integrates and it's awesome.
This is a Shopify app?
This is an Etsy app, or it's an app that you can find in your Etsy marketplace integrations. It's just on your left side when you're on Etsy, and it will say integrations. You click on that, and then it will take you to this app here, and it integrates with Etsy, and it will pull all of your listings, and it will allow you to do bulk edits.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep.
So Etsy almost has their own app store?
It's not apps. I guess it's not really a store. It's just recommended integrations.
I get it. So Vella is kind of a standalone tool that you have to give Etsy permission to kind of connect to. And then Vella will pull in all your Etsy listings, and then you can kind of edit all of them at once kind of thing. It's like
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly. So let's say you're in a niche and you're getting some sales on it and you happen to find a new keyword that you think could bring in some customers. You could go into Get Vella and you could click on all those listings that are relevant to that new keyword and just throw it in there in a bulk way. You don't have to go through each listing and make the change, and that would just take too long. So Get Vella is a great tool to have to make those big changes on those, to make your changes on your listings. Yep. So yeah, you are like pro, Michael. You are getting this so fast.
I don't know if I'm there yet, but
you totally got it. Okay, so once your listings are up and you have awesome keywords, you created this awesome message, now it's time to outshine your competition, right? So guys, like I said, there is room for everybody on Etsy and on Amazon and on Facebook ads. Wherever you're selling, there is room for you. As long as you're doing the right research and you're connecting with your customer. So the last thing you need to do is outshine your competition. And this I could talk about for hours. There's so many strategies. We won't cover this all either today, but there are some really cool tips that I want to share with you. So the first thing you can do to outshine your competition is increase your cart value. So what that means is somebody comes on your listing and they add it to your cart, right? We want to increase what they want to buy. So we're making more money from that customer. So there's a couple ways that you can do that to increase your cart value. One of them is to offer complimentary products. So a perfect example might be for this actually, we'll just talk about weddings because this will apply, both strategy 5 and 6 will apply to weddings. So for a wedding, let's say that somebody is looking for a gift for mom on her wedding day from the bride. Okay. Well, that bride might also look for a wedding gift for the groom's mom as well. So you might want to offer both of those products in your store because that can increase your cart value. Does that make sense, Michael?
Yeah, no, we kind of, on the platform, we're very intensely focused on increasing AOVs for our sellers. And we are currently working on building out a whole on-page add-on stack on the platform to do this. So it sounds like you're kind of thinking the same way, right? It's about increasing AOV. So do you do this through variants on Etsy, or how do you do it on Etsy?
Yeah, you would just create a new listing. So you would have like a mother-in-law listing, a listing.
Okay, so you have another listing.
Mother to a groom listing.
Now, how do you get people to buy both of them? How do you do that?
So that's a good question. On your Etsy store, you have categories that you can put your products into. So that could be one way, like you could put it into a wedding category. And so people might scroll through your wedding category.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You can also cross-promote.
I get it. And they're like, hey, I'll take one of these and one of these, and I'll take one of those.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
They love your theme. They love your messages. Everything's screaming to them, right? Because you've researched them, you know them and what they want. And so they're like, yeah, I'll take that and that and that and that. So, yep, that's a perfect example.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So another example here to increase your cart value is offer products that people buy in groups. So for example, we're sticking with the wedding theme is bridesmaids, right? There's generally a large group of bridesmaids, and weddings are something that people spend a lot of money on. They're willing to overspend to make the perfect moment. And so you can offer different listings or create different listings that encourage group buying. So that's a great way to increase your cart value and beat your competition.
Caught up.
Got it. All right. So the next thing to do, looks like I got these slides mixed up. Well, we're going to work backwards then. So another thing to do, another strategy to outshine your competition is to offer amazing customer service. And in Etsy, there's snippets, and I don't have a screenshot of this, but if you're in your messages where you can communicate with people, these are like presets. So it's a way that if you start getting frequent messages, you can set a preset for this common question and just click on it, and it will auto-populate the message, and then you can set it off to your customers, which is awesome. So if you haven't used snippets yet, look for that and automate your response to your customers. I also recommend that if you're just starting out, to really fight for your first 100 customers. And so what I mean by that is you need to go like above and beyond for these first 100 customers, because you need to build your reviews and you need to validate your store and get people comfortable with your brand and that you're a trusted seller. So I usually recommend privately messaging, like not an automated message, but write a message to each customer that you get for your first 100 people. And just, thank them for their order. Let them know that you're happy to help if they have any questions. And then once their order is shipped or once they've received their order, despite what people say, you can ask for feedback, okay? You can't ask for feedback or reviews in exchange for something free, but you can definitely ask for feedback. And a lot of times that will prompt people to leave a review on your store. And they're just going to love all the communication you've given them and how you've just spoiled them and loved on them. And they're going to want to leave a review.
So you're saying every time someone places an order, what you're saying is basically go write up some snippets, right? Like say, hey, after people place an order, send them this message and save these all in like a Google Doc or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then every time someone places an order, copy out of your Google Doc, paste it in there, personalize it. Hey, Jess, whatever, paste in your little snippet, send it right now. Every time they place an order, you're having kind of a touch point with all these customers. And then and this is all in Etsy, right?
Yes, this is all in Etsy. And the snippet thing, I'm sorry, I probably confused with the snippet thing. It's just a place where you can save messages. So
in Etsy?
In Etsy,
Oh, so Etsy has a built-in snippets feature?
Yep, it's called snippets. And it allows you, if you're getting a common question like, hey, my order, what's a common question I get? Can you customize this? And then you can pre-save a message, and it says, hey, thanks for contacting me, and then give them your answer. But that's automated.
So you're using this, except also just for other touch points in the customer experience, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so all that's in Etsy. You got the snippets. So also you said it's okay to ask for reviews. You just can't you can't trade something.
Yeah.
You can't say leave me a review and I'll give you a discount or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
You just have to say, hey, your review would mean the world to us, right?
Yes, exactly. So, and I do ask for feedback because I honestly do want feedback. Another tip that I don't have on here is listen to your customers and ask them for their feedback in all honesty, not just because you want a review, but some of my best sellers have come from ideas that customers have written me about. They say, hey, can you do this and this and this? And I'm like, okay, sure. And I do it for them. But then I always leave it up in my store because if they wanted it and they had this great idea around this niche, then probably somebody else wants it. And so I love when people give me feedback and give me ideas because it's often more closely related to my perfect person.
And if nothing else, you should do it because that person very likely will leave you a review just for creating a product or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't bribe people for a review.
And so, okay, let's see. How do you know when, because you want to ask them for a review before it's been delivered and stuff. So how do you track all of that? Is all that in Etsy through said commerce and everything, or how does that work?
So you just have to track that in your orders. You would just have to go in and maybe once a week, just kind of review and see, did that order.
But you're saying in Etsy?
Yeah, in Etsy.
So in Etsy, you go to orders and then it'll tell you which ones have been delivered versus which ones are still, waiting for shipment or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And
okay, all the ones that say delivered, then you're going in there and you're dropping your snippet where you're like, hey, we're just a small gift shop. We can't afford a commercial in the Super Bowl or whatever. It'd mean the world for us if you left us a review, right?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yep, exactly. And part of your flow for this could just be once a week you go in and check it and then write your email. Or, if you know that the product's getting close to them, you could email them and say, hey, it looks like it's getting close. We're so excited for you. When you get it, we'd love a reaction video or a reaction picture and give us some feedback. We're always looking to make the experience awesome.
Perfect. Yeah. And here's another question I have. I know there's a Q&A thing later, so I'm jumping ahead again. How often, so most of what we're doing are gift items, right? How often, though, are they ordering the item, having it shipped to them versus ordering the item and having it shipped elsewhere?
I'd say most of the time I guess I don't have a great answer, a concrete answer for that. I'm just trying to think of experiences. I would say that probably majority of people actually have it shipped to them.
Yeah, that's what I see on Facebook and elsewhere. So, okay, cool. Good to know.
Because, this product is not a $20 product where it's kind of meant to be it's not fully obligatory. It's they're trying to make it a step up from just hey, I have to give you something. Here's a mug, right?
Yep, I got it. They're trying to make a magical moment here.
They are, yeah. I mean, it's meant to really give people fuzzy emotions and bring people closer together.
Yeah.
So
So
I
I'm
think
getting it.
most people want to give the present in hand.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And I do find a lot of Etsy sellers or buyers, they like to write their own notes with the product, and they want to wrap it up. You know, like it's a very sentimental thing to them. And that's also why they come onto Etsy, is because they love the personal touch that Etsy sellers give to their buyers. So
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Strategy 2 here says test your best selling sellers with a duplicate listing. So Etsy does allow duplicate listings. And what you can do is, if you have something that's selling, you can duplicate your listing and then change one element to it to see if it will perform better. And so that is an awesome
Almost
way
like a split test, huh?
Yeah.
So
And I know
like,
you do the
what
same thing on
element?
Facebook as well.
What element would you change? Are we talking like an image? Because you wouldn't want to jack with the SEO, right?
Yes,
Because
right. You never want to touch your original listing. If something's selling, you just leave that baby right there and you just let it do its thing, right? So you can change. There's a few things you can change, but yeah, you could do your image, you could do your tags, you could do your title. There's a handful of things you can definitely change to test out and see, is that more attractive to your perfect person?
and is Etsy going to freak out if because if your SEO is similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Etsy's not going to, I assume they wouldn't show you twice on the same, same page for the same search term with the same product, because that would make a bad customer experience. So how does all that get worked out?
When you have that many people, they can, of course, show one item to one group of people and then, show it to another group of people and test it against each other.
Huh. Okay.
So
you're saying
duplicate listings are totally safe with Etsy.
Okay.
And
interesting.
it's a great strategy to test with your bestsellers.
So basically, Etsy's not going to penalize you. They're just going to show one or the other, and you over time can try to see which one sells the most.
Yep,
now,
exactly.
Is Etsy going to tell you which one converts better? Like, is it going to?
You'll figure that out with your stats. So each listing has.
Okay, so it's going to have product level stats and all right. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks for educating a dumb Facebook barbarian here.
You're not any of that. You are you're on it, Michael. You're going to be an Etsy pro. I know it. I just know it.
7 figures Etsy.
That's right.
Q4, let's do it.
Woo! Okay, and then the last strategy to outshine your competition is to expand beyond Etsy. And that's something we have already been talking about a little bit, but you can also take your products then to other marketplaces like Amazon and eBay. And there are actually lots of other marketplaces that you can expand to, but those are, of course, just the ones that everybody knows. And so, I definitely recommend that, because while each platform has their own unique buyers, there is a lot of overlap. And so I do find that generally what sells on Etsy usually sells on Amazon as well. And so that is one way to expand your reach and reach more customers as well.
I will tell you, is the next slide Q&A?
Oh, no. The next one, this is.
Before we get there, I will tell you that, one thing we're definitely going to add to our process is creating an Etsy listing for everything we test on Facebook, because it just seems like such a no-brainer to do, because you create the listing once and that thing can hang out, can gain authority. It might be showing up in search results. It can be getting sales there. It can be collecting reviews. I mean, it just seems like such a no-brainer not to be doing both. If you're going to go through the work of the product research and you create the product and all this stuff, you may as well also crank out an Etsy listing. It just seems really silly not to do it.
Yes, I completely agree, because when you're doing your research and you're learning about your perfect person, well, that perfect person can still work on Facebook and on Etsy. And so you're
absolutely
work, one-time efforts that can reap in multiple different places.
Yep, absolutely.
So, okay, my last tip is, this is surprising. This actually is one that people really forget to do. I think sometimes it feels like a fluke when you have something that's working. You're like, oh, is that like me? Did that work? And so my last tip is to follow what's working and give up on what isn't getting any traction. Okay. If you have designs that aren't selling, then stop doing whatever you're doing. And if you have something that's even just like giving some kind of rattle, pay attention to that. What could be different about that compared to your other listings, and follow that. Follow whatever is working. Lean into what is bringing you results. And don't be afraid to stop doing things that just clearly aren't working. And when you're willing to grow into your success and follow that, that's when you really start to see growth, is when you can really just find those little pockets of success, and you find your voice, and you find your perfect people, and you lean towards them, and you add more products for them, and you find that you have certain keywords that are really working. Then lean into that and really just blow it up and have fun, and forget about the things that you thought were working and that you were maybe married to even. Forget it. Just have fun and lean into what is working. And that is how you will outshine your competition.
It sounds like, with Facebook, it's with Facebook. I can see how with Etsy, the feedback loop with Etsy doesn't seem to be nearly as short as it is with Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I can see how with Etsy, you might get stuck in this grind, right? Without ever pausing to take a step back and going, okay, let me look at my analytics. Let me look at my stats. Yeah. Let's see what products are getting traction versus which ones aren't. And let's start to double down on what's working. I can see that with Facebook, you don't have this problem because you will literally go broke if you keep doing what isn't working, right? Like Facebook forces you to only pay attention to what's working. But I can definitely see how with Etsy, it's a whole different ballgame, because all you have to lose is your time and your effort, basically.
Yes. And it's true. And if you're dealing with so many listings, it can feel overwhelming. And that's why you do have to have a system in place, so that you can do all these little checks to make sure that you're going in the right direction. And you can check yourself and check these listings and see what is bringing you success. And Etsy listings do take time to mature. And so you're not going to know within 3 days if your listing is working. You might get lucky. I have had some products that have immediately started selling, but that, I would say, is more the exception than the standard, right? Sometimes it takes a while for your listing to grow and to get traction. And it's really after that 30 days that you're going to start to want to analyze these listings and see what's really working for you.
Cool.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. So is the next one Q&A?
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's get to it. Okay. So anybody with questions? What's that?
Are you going back to your screen?
No. I was just
we're good.
Yeah, okay, sweet. All right, so if anybody has any questions, start dropping them in the chat now. There's a 60-second delay, something like that, between Anna and I. And I have a whole bunch of questions myself, so I'm going to hog the mic here for just a minute. So here's a question I have for you. So you blew it up on Mother's Day with Etsy. How old was your store? How many reviews did you have? How many listings did you have up? I'm curious about a lot of that.
That's a good question. Okay, so the first one was, how many listings did I have, right?
Yes, sure.
I want to say when I started to see that traction, that movement, that was clearly Mother's Day sales, I probably had maybe 200 or 300 listings up at the time. So
you had been, and were these all like message card, ShineOn type listings?
Yep.
Okay, so this is awesome. I'm so glad you shared that, because
I love message cards. They're my favorite.
And were you getting 200 to 300 listings? Were you getting sales on those 200 to 300 listings before you had?
I had started. I had gotten my first sale within a few days of listing my first product.
Your first listing. When did you start listing on Etsy?
January. It was like in mid-January where I started to sit down and say, all right, this is it. Like, I'm fully invested in this.
So January of 2020. Oh my gosh, 2021. This year is just freaking flying by.
Right?
Okay, so January of 2021, you started making listings. Yeah. And by May of 2021, you had 200 to 300. So this is a woman with a work ethic right here, first of all. How many listings a day is that? Something like
man, I don't even know, but you have to remember you put them across lots of necklaces, and so it does add up pretty quickly.
Okay.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
You are really though, you're doing the grind. You're making listings.
I was doing the grind, and I knew that Mother's Day was a big holiday, so I really was. I actually wasn't too worried about anything else but Mother's Day. That was my focus when I first started, because I was like, it's like I mean, you can make your full, your annual income, replace your annual income, or maybe even more just on Mother's Day. And I knew that going in. So I decided when I went into that my only focus was on everything Mother's Day, anything that I could touch for Mother's Day.
So in January, you're prepping for Mother's Day.
Yeah,
basically.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. By the way, everybody just told me we were really silly because we just had the screen up. They couldn't see our face.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
I just forgot.
The way we have it set up.
Yeah.
I'm glad we can see each other now.
Yeah, we're back now. Hi again. Hey. And hey, everybody out there in the ether. Okay. Thanks for the heads up on that, and thanks for bearing with us here. Okay, yeah. So 200 to 300 listings. You started your store in January?
Yeah.
Okay, so the store age was, it was January. Okay, 200 to 300 listings. How many reviews? And you started getting sales right away. So you had your first Etsy sales in January.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And before you had your big run on Mother's Day, do you know how many reviews you had accumulated?
I would assume maybe a handful, right? But I really fought for that first 100, right? It's like you do everything to connect with them.
Sure. So when you say a handful, though, we're talking before the Mother's Day run.
Before the Mother's Day run, yeah, I probably maybe had 10 reviews.
10 reviews. Wow. And the 10 reviews plus the 200 to 300 listings and what is essentially a brand new store, you hit something and just bam, took off on Mother's Day. Now, how many designs made up the majority of your Mother's Day sales?
Oh, a lot of them. Because once I started to see what was selling, then I just expanded on that. And I focused on what was working. Whatever was working, I just kept expanding on it.
So it wasn't like one design was the majority of your sales. You had a lot of different designs popping up.
This goes into the outshine your competition realm, where there's just a lot of more strategies that just, we could go into, but we don't have enough time. But yeah, I just kept expanding on what was working. That's why I say, when you find something that's working, you work on that. You keep going in that direction, because that's when you start finding your success.
So you would have one concept, phrase, a perfect person. It's kind of struggling here because you're in the Mother's Day niche, right?
Yeah.
And so you've found a concept that's working, right? Yep. And then you just double and triple down on the concept, right? And so you're just churning out. This would be doubling and tripling down on the concept means churning out new phrases to the same perfect person, basically.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
Right. So you're expanding horizontally. You're just lots of new phrases and things like that more of this kind of perfect person may want to buy.
Yep.
Now, so I have a question though, being a dumb Facebook guy here. So wouldn't you be starting to have lots of overlap in the listings for keywords and tags and all that kind of stuff?
I knew my perfect person. I had enough traffic to support that.
But so every single listing though, it's a little different in the keywords and tags.
Right. It's not just cookie cutter completely.
They're not carbon copies.
So that, because you got to remember that a font may not connect with one person. So if I have another message with a different font, that might connect to a different buyer. And so I'm bringing them into those.
Even in a case like that, where literally all you're doing is changing the font, you're still kind of changing up the keywords and tags a little bit, right?
A little bit, yeah. Because I want to test out to see what's going to maximize what's winning for me.
Okay, so do you have any listings with the exact same title and tags and everything?
Oh yeah.
But where just the phrase is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like cool. I said, there's this is kind of a loaded topic. So yes to all of that, but there's just a lot that you can do when you start scaling for Etsy and Amazon.
Yeah, it feels, I'm harking back to my like Google days when, Google hates duplicate content.
Yeah.
So I'm immediately, when I think about copying a listing and keeping the title and the tags and all that the same, I'm like, Etsy ain't gonna like that. But it sounds like Etsy really doesn't care.
I mean, again, this kind of, they do care to some degree. Like you couldn't do that 100 times over. You would have to, but you can create small variations of all that, and you can do that 100 times over with all these small little changes. And there's a million different ways to make lots of small changes and then connect with your person.
Okay, so, I got it.
So it's like, yeah, there is a lot of overlap, but along the way, I'm making lots of small changes so I can connect to lots of different demographics within my niche.
And once the sales started popping off for you, I mean, there's no ad spend, so it's just pure. You're just having fun. You're living life.
Yeah. So Etsy has their fees, of course, so that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Now, once you go past a certain amount of sales, Etsy does do Google offsite ads. And I actually did get a lot of buys from the Google offsite ads. And so that ranged from $5 to $9 per ad. But that's why ShineOn's awesome, because we have the profit margin to be.
Oh yeah, you got plenty of margin. You could do
it was just exactly. And I didn't have to set it up. I didn't have to set up a Google Ads account. Like I didn't have to do any of that. Etsy did it all for me. And for like $8 a listing, I was like, they could do that all day long. Yeah, and it's only when a customer buys that you're paying for that ad. So it's like, there's just no losing.
That is an incredible acquisition cost. Okay. I would take that literally. If Facebook gave me $5 to $9 acquisition costs, I'd be flying in private jets just to go to the grocery store.
Yes. And that wasn't like all my customers, right? Like that was just a portion of my customers during that Mother's Day time.
That's insane. I would seriously, if Facebook allowed me to do that, I'd be Tony Stark right now. I'd take helicopters. I would never drive. That's insane. That is insane.
It's insane. There are great profit margins to be had.
So okay, that's super cool. So once those sales started coming in, like you're creating listings, you're in pure creation mode to try to capitalize on the opportunity, but you're not worried about ad spend. You're not worried about cash flow. You're not worried about any of that stuff, huh?
No, not really, because Etsy can do daily payouts. So
now, okay, here's a question. Were you scared of having your store shut down? Like what would you have done if like your store was just gone in the middle of that?
You know what? I didn't even think about it. I never went there because everything that I do is safe for Etsy as far as I know. Like I play in the rules, so it just doesn't. I don't even worry about it. If it happens, then I'll deal with it. But that did not occur to me. So
because you felt confident that you were compliant, you weren't worried. See, we don't get to. It must be nice. we don't get that luxury with Facebook. Yeah, Facebook's like
when I talk to Facebook sellers, their stress levels are like, woo!
Facebook's like the unpredictable, abusive, alcoholic parent. Unfortunately, it's kind of like you never know when they're going to bring the hammer down. Unfortunately.
Etsy. So this is something that is talked about and people have questions about. Is that Etsy a lot of times does suspend your account when you first open it up. And this is a question I get a lot. It's something that I tell people not to be afraid of because unfortunately it's just the ugly side of Etsy. And what they're looking for is they want to know that you're a real person and that you're actually following within their terms of service, that you're actually doing your own designs, because handmade means that you have to actually do a part of your product. So we are doing that. We fall within those rules. We're totally fine and safe. But once you're past that part, if you're doing everything right, you're not infringing, you're not doing,
I know they do allow print on demand on Etsy. I mean, that's
not even a question. I mean, we're 100% safe in that way. So my point is though, is that if that happens to you, most of the time you get your account back, just accept that. And this has been going on way before people started using ShineOn products on Etsy. It's been going on for a long time. So the point is that if you can get past that, generally, as long as you're playing by the rules, like your account is fine. And so when that was happening, I know Facebookers have that stress, that anxiety. My stress was,
PTSD,
am I doing enough? Yeah, you do. You totally do. And you can hear it in your voices. I talk to you people and you can hear it. Yeah. But no, Etsy is different. Like my stress was using my strategies to really scale out my product and figuring that out. And a lot of the things that I'm helping people with, I spent hours on. I mean, like you have no idea how many hours I spent trying to figure out all these dang integrations and getting everything synced to it's just so crazy. So that was the hardest part because nobody's ever done this before, right? So I had to use like what knowledge I've had from the past and apply it now. But I knew the potential was so big for what was happening.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so that's why I'm fighting
good for you. You were
because I knew what was going on.
You were the first one through the wall. All right, so I've got to get to everybody's questions here. I'm going to sit here and I'll have 10 million more. Before I do, I know
there's so much. There's so much.
Before I do, I want to get real quickly. I just want to double back on the Facebook thing. So look, I am pretty good at hyperbole. I like to make a good show of this and the story, and I like to get laughs and all that kind of stuff. Facebook is here's the thing. If you want to take a product from nothing to like high 6 figures or 7 figures in like a record amount of time, I still just don't know. I don't know any other platform that can do it like in a controlled way, meaning when in Facebook, when I find a winning product, I can stomp on the gas pedal and like the car will just keep going. I mean, it will just, there's no governor on it. Like you'll never reach the limit to its scaling capacity. That's what sets Facebook kind of apart. Like it really comes down to how well you can manage cash flow and customer service and everything else. You can literally take it to the moon. And that's why Facebook, it's not going to get displaced anytime soon for being kind of a market leader in this e-commerce space. And despite, the complaints about the bans and all that kind of stuff, the truth is ShineOn products are so, as Eric likes to say, they're so white hat, even your grandmother would approve. And we try to provide world-class customer service. We ship super fast, all that kind of stuff. So Facebook actually loves to have our type of products in their marketplace, right? However, if you have a brand new account, you have a brand new page, or you just start spending money on Facebook, their bots do kind of come out and they'll ban you and you've got to appeal it and then you have to get it approved. And that's just because Facebook they're trying to do quality control, right? Like at scale with this kind of stuff, and it's very difficult for them. So they leave it up to their bots, and their bots aren't perfect, right? So that's a lot of what drives the pain with Facebook is, you'll be scaling or whatever, and then one day, boom, the ad gets rejected. And then you got to go through it and appeal, and you lose half your day, right? Going through this whole process. And that's where all the complaints and the all of that kind of stuff comes from. But at the end of the day, the whole reason we're still doing Facebook is because there's just no other game in town to hit those kinds of volumes. So, but one thing I'm definitely adding to my process after all of this, every time we test something on Facebook, we are definitely going to be making an Etsy listing. It just seems foolish not to. We're just leaving money on the table when we don't. All right, let's get to some of these questions here.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Let's see. Do you have multiple stores? And if yes, how many?
Oh, I have multiple stores, but I only have one store for ShineOn products. And I do recommend actually separating your ShineOn products from your mugs and t-shirt stores. That's usually the most common transition that people have, like me, where I used to I still sell mugs and t-shirts, but I'm not putting effort into those stores. And the reason why I recommend separating them out is because you want to bring in quality customers that Etsy will start to get familiar with your store and who you're bringing in, and then they'll bring more of those people in. So if people are looking for mugs and necklaces, they're not really complementary products. They're not necessarily the same buyer. And so you could actually hurt yourself a little bit. if you do mix, it's not the end of the world. There are people who are selling it, but those are the reasons why I chose to separate my stores.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just keeping niches clean and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mauricio here says that the volunteer to go to Antarctica has come forward. Mauricio Reyes, give this guy some snow or some icicles or something, and some penguins in the comments because he deserves them.
Thank you for being our sacrificial ShineOn star.
Let's figure out how to make the internet connection work, and who knows, maybe we'll sponsor a trip. That would be pretty sweet. Okay. David Mackey, does the Shopify notification emails duplicate with Etsy notification emails?
Okay, this is a good question, and I actually need to do research. I only have had one person actually email me about this, and so I'm sorry I don't have a clear answer, but I guess what I would say about this is that if they are, I've only had one person ever email me about it. So if that's the case, then I probably wouldn't give too much weight into this as a problem.
Okay. Got it. Makes sense. All right. When will you upload for the holidays?
Right now. Like I said, guys, Etsy is encouraging people to have their listings up at least 120 days before the holiday. So now is a great time. And I know that July is a quieter selling season on a whole, but this really actually should be one of your most busiest months.
Man, I cannot agree with that more.
Okay,
Whether you're doing Etsy or not, you've got to take advantage of this time right now. It's the calm before the storm.
It really is the calm before the storm. And what you're going to see happening is if you start now and you find a product, then you can grow that product into the algorithm, and it's going to have time to mature and become a bestseller. But if you start 2 weeks before Christmas, well, you'll go to the Etsy graveyard because, or maybe some people will be like, oh, but I got 5 sales. Okay, 5 sales is cool, but like, that's not exciting. Like, I want to make lots of sales. So the best time to do it is right now.
And don't you have some crazy goal, like number of listings you're trying to get up?
Yeah, I know we've talked about this. So I do have a crazy goal, but the crazy goal isn't so much about the numbers as it is about the mindset. The mindset is I want to commit to something so big that I have to show up every single day so that I can eventually get there, right? And along that way of I think I said 15,000 listings. Along the way, I know that I will have success if I just keep going for that long.
And so can I ask how many listings you have up now?
You can ask, but I haven't looked recently. I might be over 1,000 now.
So you're just every day dropping new listings. So what about, how many, do you have a goal for like how many you want to get up by October 1 or November 1 or something like that?
So that's a good question. I actually tell people to focus on what you can do because I get asked this all the time, which I get like you want to know what other people are up to, but at the end of the day, what I'm up to may not work for you. So I really encourage people to focus on what you can do. And so for some people, that might only be like 2 or 3 listings a day. And that's totally great. If you can show up and create 2 to 3 quality listings a day, that's wonderful. So I am uploading, but not consistently because I'm doing some other things that I think are going to drive some sales to my Etsy store right now. So that's why I give this answer to say, look at what you can do. Look at what stepping stones you can take, because if you compare yourself to me, I'm at a completely different place.
But what do you do?
Well, I'm looking to optimize what's already selling. And so I'm setting up.
But you have 1,000 listings up, so it's probably time to take a step back, like you were saying earlier, and evaluate what's working, what isn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm just looking into what's working right now. So there's some other strategies that I use to expand on what is working already, and that's kind of where my focus is right now. I am uploading. I try to upload a little bit every week to keep going, but I am leaning into what is working for me right now, and so. That's why I encourage people, like, just don't compare yourself to where other people are at. Take the advice that you get or things that resonate with you where you're like, oh, I could do that, and make a schedule and look at your life and your situation. Maybe you have a full-time job. Maybe you have more time. And so then commit to what you can do.
Sorry, go ahead. I just, the only thing I'd add to that is, but be hungry, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
When I can't express, I really struggle to put into words how I feel during Q4, because I almost feel like I can feel the transactions happening. I'm not kidding. Like it keeps me up at night. It gives me energy to wake up in the mornings. It's like, I know that every single day there are people making literally millions of dollars. And like, I feel like I can tangibly feel it. It's so weird. Like there's an electricity in the air.
Yeah.
And it makes me
it's so much.
It makes me so hungry to get out there. And like, I'll get up early and I'll be cranking out designs. I'll like, every moment I get, I'll be doing product research. I'll be like, because I just know that the opportunity is this kind of opportunity with Q4 comes around once a year, and it's so big, you just cannot even imagine it. Like,
and it's funny because I've done like numerous Q4s now, and every year is just like so mind blowing, right? Like you can't even believe that it's possible.
Because it truly your brain cannot compute how big the opportunity is.
Right.
Like it's exponential. It's I don't know. I'm totally with you on that though. It's a mind breaking kind of thing. And October 1 rolls around. I feel this incredible sense of urgency. Like, have I done everything I can to be prepared?
Yeah, exactly.
And
right. Yeah. I keep trying to tell myself to get that in that feeling of like scarcity, right? Like I'm like, okay, I only have 100. I think we're like 160 days. Like, we got to hurry. We got to move.
Yeah, 160 days. I saw you make the post. It was like 158 days. And I was like, oh, I'm like, I got to get going. Like, yeah. And I prepare all year for it, you know?
Yes, you do. You absolutely do.
Yeah. All right. There's a bunch of questions here. We've been going almost 2 hours.
A handful of them, just real
fast. Let's try to wrap this up inside of 15 minutes. So I'm going to shut up and I'll let you do a lot of the talking. All right.
Okay.
Hello. In Etsy, is it better to run Etsy ads for all listings or for just one?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually am just not a huge fan of Etsy ads altogether, and I haven't really found anybody who's like raving about them. So what I would recommend is if you have something that is selling, to put Etsy ads on, but if you could throw up things that are new and you could try it out. And if you're not getting any conversion, just shut it off. But Etsy ads are, in my opinion, not like a first place I would go to try and get traction. So I'm sorry, that's not a very like clear answer.
Good.
It hasn't worked for me. For some people, it can. I would say, again, if you have something that's selling, then give it a shot. But otherwise, I wouldn't waste my efforts on going crazy with it.
So what about, do you sell to other markets like Germany or anywhere else in Europe?
I have
even popular over there.
I've actually seen bestsellers that are geared towards people in Germany. They're in German.
Cool. Well,
definitely. That's another way you can expand your listings is to translate them as well.
Well, anybody interested in selling in Europe, we're going to Europe.
Yes.
We're going to have a facility open by the end of this quarter is kind of the goal.
Wow.
We're going to be in Amsterdam.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I actually think Germany will be a really great market for these, and I'm really excited.
We will give you a tour if you want to make a little trip to Amsterdam. We'll do it.
Yes, I want to be there. I want to be the first.
We might be able to make that happen. We think we're going to
awesome.
We think we're going to do kind of a European sales kind of contest, and we're actually going to give away some trips. So, anyways, that's so that's a little sneaky surprise for everyone. Coffee with Michael. Don't tell anybody.
Thank you for letting us in on that secret. That's so cool.
Let's keep going here.
You can sell anywhere in the world. Just make sure that your shipping settings are done correctly so that people can expect their product within the right time frame. That's all I'd recommend.
Okay, so I need to answer this one. Which do you guys think is best, Shopify or Etsy? Does ShineOn have a standalone platform? Okay, so there's a lot in this question. Yes, ShineOn does have a standalone platform where you can sell without having to have Shopify or anything else. That platform is going to get an Etsy integration very soon. We're trying to have it done this month. I don't know if it's going to get done this month or not, but you will be able to open a platform account and connect it to Etsy without having to have a Shopify store at all. That's where we're headed with this. So you're going to be able to just literally from your platform account connect it to an Etsy store and start uploading your listings. That's where we're headed. So that is all coming. Now, which do you think is better, Shopify or Etsy? Currently today, you have to have a Shopify store if you want to sell on Etsy. You have to have a Shopify store. You have to install said commerce or another app that allows you to push your listings to Etsy. Let's keep going. I think I pretty much covered that one.
I think so.
What do you consider for a keyword to be low competition and high search?
Let's see, high search. So what you want to look for is to stay in the green. So as you're looking through your keywords, you're going to have 4 boxes with different colors. It's hard to say, right? Some of it is intuition, but what you're mostly looking for is just to be in the green. That would be like
basically you want them all to be green. So like search volume, green, whatever the other ones are, and then competition also to be green, right? So eRank already has some intelligence kind of built in there, does an analysis and tries to color code things accordingly.
Yeah.
And you're saying that's just what you go off of, whatever eRank says.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not that it's never actually going to be all green. You're looking for as most green as possible.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you only use Etsy or do you drive your own traffic as well?
So I have only been using Etsy, but driving my own traffic as well is what I'm working on right now.
Okay, perfect. Uh-oh. Hang on, I lost my place. This happens sometimes. Someone says production partner is the keyword. So this is when you set up your store, you need to say that ShineOn's a production partner, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they must have commented that when we were talking about bands or whatever.
Oh, yeah. And guys, I know that that's a theory out there, but I would not put weight into that personally.
What's that?
The production partner, the keyword commenting on the bands, that production partners are totally safe within Etsy's terms of service. So it's we don't need to dive into it. I wouldn't worry about it. Sell on Etsy because it's an awesome opportunity.
How do you deal with bad feedback on the message card? I've seen them a bunch on other sellers. Are you improving that soon? So we do have some, Ricardo, I think I saw some comments somewhere from you earlier. So we actually are working on improving the message cards. We're just not there yet. I will tell you this though, and this may be a difference between kind of Etsy and Facebook. I cannot tell you how many of these I've sold, a freaking gajillion of these. I've never had a single person complain about the message cards. Not one. I'm not even joking. So, but Ricardo, man, somewhere, I think it was Ricardo, someone had a screenshot of someone kind of complaining about the message cards. And we'll have you know, we have listened to you and we're looking into improving that right now. So that should be in place before Q4.
Awesome. That's so good to know.
All right. Mauricio's got some penguins getting ready for the cold.
And guys, I do want to comment though on like the message cards, the perforated edges, just that comment. Not everything is going to be perfect, but it's good enough. Like thousands and thousands of products have been sold. So could there be improvements? Yes, but that should never scare you from these are proven products. So you just have to learn how to work around those things and have a solution. And honestly, in all the sales that I've had, I don't love the perforated edges too. It reminds me of like my dad's copy paper from when I was 5, but that's not what it's about, right? There are enough people who have sold these that have proven that customers are okay with that quality. And so that's not stopping me from it.
Well, I mean, good grief. You did who knows how many for Mother's Day.
Yeah, thousands.
Huh?
Thousands of them. Thousands.
And did it cause you any problems?
No, I've had like one comment on that. So again, I like to just, you just need to have solutions. There's always a solution for every problem that we face as pod sellers. So, if you get that or any other problem because somebody's dissatisfied, just make them happy and move on, because this is a proven product. This isn't stopping anybody from making great money.
Okay, let's keep going here. Do you create different cards with the same message but different backgrounds?
Let's see here. Do you create different cards with the same message? No. I often do use the same message card.
Different cards with the same message but different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And what do you say you do?
I often use the same background, but
and then just a different message.
And then a different message.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do.
It depends too. Like if there's an element that I think would connect with my buyer, I'll add that. I'll make a message card that would make sense. Like if I'm targeting a mother who is buying a gift for her, let's say 10-year-old daughter, then I might put something on there that's a little bit more, childish to connect to that recipient. So
I will tell you that we'll sometimes do that. Like where if we have a phrase that is kind of working for us, we'll take but it's maybe break even on Facebook. We'll take the phrase and put it on 10 different designs and then see which of those work better. I've heard of some other folks doing that too. So it's not unheard of if you have something taken off. All right. So
yeah.
How many sales are you getting during the slower months?
Right now my sales are actually really slow because I've been working. I've been putting my hands in a lot of different pots since my Mother's Day. Let's just put it that way. So I haven't had as much emphasis on my store because, like I said, Michael knows my secret of what's coming up. I've been working on something, and then I also have been working on some other strategies to help my store for fourth quarter. So to be honest, they are really slow right now, but I'm excited about the projects that I have, and I know that they will be really helpful to other people. And what I'm doing for my store now is going to really, really help blow up my store for fourth quarter. So
what took off for Mother's Day couldn't be kind of translated into an evergreen kind of winner. It was like
I still get sales on it. I still get sales on it almost daily, but it's not. I'm not maintaining any kind of volume on it or anything like that.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see.
So, and that's why I say don't compare yourself to other sellers. Like you never know what's behind the scenes, right? So you got to come up with your strategy that works for you and stick to that.
Here's one from David. Are there a lot of men that buy on Etsy? Like, could you sell a wife product?
Yeah, absolutely. I would not discredit that. I know that's a huge seller for Facebook sellers.
And you should be able to go right into eRank and find out, right? Because you can type some search terms like wife necklace or something like that. And see what comes up.
Remember that Etsy will advertise on Google. So even if a man isn't looking on Etsy necessarily, they might get pulled into Etsy because Etsy is doing advertisements on Google for you.
Okay, I think you answered this. Can you rely on Etsy? I think that's supposed to be SEO and ads to make sales. Or do you bring traffic from Pinterest and Instagram? Do you do any Pinterest, Instagram, anything like that?
I do a little Pinterest. I don't do Instagram. I think you can rely on SEO, absolutely. And then as part of your beating your competition, then you start driving your own traffic. And so that's what I'm working on right now.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all of these ideas you can implement, and they're all going to, work for you as you test and work through them. It's not like a one or the other. It's a combination of all of this and having that strategy in place so that you are getting sales from lots of different places.
Sorry, there's a lot here. I'm trying to find questions we haven't answered yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Getting lots of it. I think this is all excitement about the platform having the Etsy integration.
Yeah, that's going to be so exciting. That's going to make such a difference for people. And I know
will
that there's
be-
going to be some really cool features too. It obviously is going to just keep getting improved upon, but it's going to be awesome. I mean, people pay lots of money for integrations with other POD suppliers. So the fact that this is an option, it will be for free. It's super huge opportunity.
So they're asking if it's free. So to my knowledge and to my understanding, there's going to be like, you're going to have to pay 20 cents a listing like you do with Etsy. Not an additional 20 cents, but like when you push from our platform into Etsy wants 20 cents for that. So we're going to kind of like handle that transaction. But to my knowledge, it's basically free outside of what Etsy wants. I don't think we're going to charge like listing fees or anything like that.
To use the integration itself will be free, as far as we know.
That's as far as I know.
It's
right
just
now,
regular Etsy fees.
Yep.
Yeah, as far as we know. So that's cool. That's super exciting.
Did you upgrade your store to Etsy Plus?
No, I have not.
Okay.
And honestly, there's so many things you can do, but I wouldn't start doing a lot of these kind of extra things until you start seeing consistent traffic.
Yeah, just stick to the system and keep grinding until you get to winner.
Yeah.
Once you get winner, then you can have fun with all the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, once you start getting consistent sales, then yeah, definitely add in Pinterest or add in Instagram, add in all, the email list, and I can't remember the last one. Definitely add all those things in, but don't go out of your way to learn all those things, because if you're not marketing the right products, if they're not selling or converting, or you don't know who your perfect customer is, then all those things don't really matter. So really focus on having those consistent sales coming in, even if it's just like 1 or 2 a day, and then start considering adding in like one other thing that could bring more traffic to your store or hold your customer. And just keep building in small increments, because it's the same thing with people who start with Facebook ads and Etsy and Amazon or whatever. You don't know where you're going. There's just too much that you're trying to take on, and then you get burnt out and you don't see results, and then you just give up. So don't do that to yourself. Just start with one thing, start seeing results, and then add one more thing. And when you start seeing results, add another thing. Make it fun for yourself, because this should be fun. It should be super exciting. And, you should get results. So,
yeah.
One thing at a time.
We went 2 hours. Everybody, let's give Anna some applause and some love in the chat. Let's see some hearts and smiley faces and maybe some UFOs and some other lovey things that say how much you appreciate her. Some little hands, maybe. What time is it there, Anna?
I'm so excited.
What time is it there?
Oh, it's 11 o'clock. I think my kids are still awake, actually. I told them they need to go to bed, but...
Yeah, so Anna stayed up late for everybody here, and this is a Friday night. She could be doing Friday night things in Germany.
I couldn't think of a better Friday.
Yeah, so here it comes, just so you can see it.
Yes, my pleasure.
Yep, so hey, thank you very much, Anna. Really appreciate you coming on. Everybody else, yes. I like this, Maurice. I'm gonna have to have Mauricio on at some point. Yeah. He's here every week. Great dude. We need to make it happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
thank you everybody for sticking around. Yeah, seriously, appreciate it. Thanks everybody for sticking around. Hope everybody found this helpful. Anna, thank you so much for coming in, dropping some major knowledge bombs on us, and I guess go get your kids. Try to get them in bed here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Bye.
Hey, Michael here again. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. If you like the content, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And there's one more thing I want you to do. Check out the links in the description below. I want you to look at the link to ShineOn.com where you can sign up and become a seller with us today. It literally takes 60 seconds and it could change your life. Secondly, I want you to go to our Facebook group. It's the most engaged e-commerce group on the planet. We're constantly sharing important tips, tricks, and things like that that can help you on your seller journey and level up your e-commerce game. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.